If I gave you a pile of bricks, a bag of cement, let's say some glass, and some other materials like aluminium, would you say you have a house? No, it's just pile of stuff. In my last video, I spoke about six elements that makes up the human body. Let me just say the main elements. 96% which is composed of oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen. I also spoke about calcium and phosphorus. I also spoke about sodium and potassium, as well as zinc, which I spoke about as the forefront of the immune system. However, these six elements doesn't automatically translate to the human machine. For the human system to work, it needs organization. And today I'm going to be talking about atoms of these elements that makes up the molecules in our body, which graduate to having the cell, the tissues, the organs, and the system eventually. I am Zil, and this is Health Curiosity. If you are new to this channel, what we do here is health and science. Atom is the smallest unit of the elements we discussed earlier. It contains electrons at its shell and nucleus at the center of it, which carries the proton, the positive charge, and the neutral charge, which is the neutron. Atoms of different elements come together to chemically bond together, and by sharing electrons or transferring electrons, you can have electrons of carbon doing a covalent bond with electrons of hydrogen, or maybe electron transfer from, let's say, sodium to electron transfer to chlorine as well, NaC or something like that, and that is called the ionic bonding. The chemical bonding of atoms of elements is what makes up molecules eventually. The cell is the smallest unit of life. It's the smallest living organism in our body. We have more than 30 or 40 trillion working together 24/7 like a giant factory. So the cell, how does it form? Is the smallest living organism in our body, or how does it form? There are four types of molecules that forms the cell, and that is the sugar. You can also call them maybe complex sugar, polysaccharides, the fatty acid, you have the amino acid, which can also call the proteins, and you have the nucleotides, which also helps genetics. These small organic molecules bond together by sharing electrons between each other, also known as covalent bonding. And it is safe to call this process formation of macromolecules. Tissues are like the fabric in our body. If you have a car, they are the leather on those seats. While every cell in the body has its own specific job, similar cells comes together to form a specific type of tissue. Or let's just say that similar cell comes together to form a tissue, and there are four major types of tissue that get formed when similar cells come together to form this thing. Muscles can be formed, which helps our movement. Epithelia can be formed, which helps to protect and cover our body. I think this is where you come about the skin. We also have the connectives, which helps to bind the structures. This muscle group and the structures that they form together. We also have the nervous tissue, which helps provide signal transmission and communication. Tissues are bonded together to form an organ: the heart, the brain, the kidney, the liver, the stomach. They are all organs, and ranging from the walls of all those organs to the blood vessels, to the timing of the heart, to every nervous thing that can happen, to everything that can happen in the body, they are all formed by tissues. The blood vessels, the valve that opens up where blood flows in and goes out in our heart, everything are all formed by tissues. Ranging to our skin. Our skin is also an organ. The synergy of these organs is what forms the human body. Eventually, it forms the system. Everything works together and still being connected by tissues, and it forms the human system. And there you go, the human machine. These are the 5 increasing hierarchy that forms the human body. I hope you learn more and know a bit more about yourself today. I am Zil. Like, subscribe, and stay curious. See you in the next one.